I never thought I'd be the type of guy to write something like this online. But last month, I stumbled across something that completely shattered the way I looked at my marriage, my wife, and even my own life. It all started with a normal Tuesday night and a stupid, half-drunken internet search that led me down the darkest rabbit hole I've ever been in. That night, I couldn't sleep. I was scrolling through forums, half looking for distractions, half just wasting time. I clicked on a sketchy-looking thread that someone had linked, one of those threads where people share content that's obviously stolen or leaked. I usually avoid that stuff, but curiosity got the better of me. And then I saw myself. At first, I didn't even register it. I thought I was looking at some guy who looked eerily similar to me. But the more I looked, the colder my blood ran. The jawline, the small scar near my ribs from a bike accident years ago, the tattoo on my shoulder I got at 21 when I thought it was deep. It was all me. But I didn't remember these photos. I didn't remember these moments. And the captions underneath? They were explicit, suggestive, like something straight out of a fantasy roleplay site. I froze, staring at the screen, my mouth dry. For a few minutes I thought I was losing my mind. Maybe it was Photoshop. Maybe someone had hacked into my social media and pieced together private images. But no, these were real photos. They weren't fake. And deep down, I already knew who had taken them. My wife, Emily, has always been playful with the camera. She loved snapping photos of us together, sometimes silly, sometimes intimate. I never thought much of it. It was part of her personality. She said she wanted to capture us in every season of life. I never questioned it. Until that night. Because what I was staring at wasn't just a couple of private shots. It was an entire profile. An account. Dozens, maybe hundreds of uploads. Each one more revealing, more personal than the last. And the username? It wasn't her name, but it was close enough that I couldn't ignore the connection. A nickname she used back in college. My stomach churned. I didn't know what to do. Do I confront her right then? Do I keep scrolling? I clicked deeper, my hands shaking, my heart pounding so hard I thought I'd wake her up in the next room. That's when I saw the comments, hundreds of strangers commenting on me, on my body, on things I never consented to being shared. Some were disgusting. Some were admiring. But all of them were talking about me like I was an object, like a piece of meat on display. And the worst part, Emily was replying. She was interacting. She was role-playing, pretending to be the mysterious wife who shares her husband with the world. I slammed my laptop shut. I couldn't breathe. I sat there in the dark, trying not to scream. For the next week, I lived in a haze. I watched her like a hawk. Every time her phone buzzed, every time she smiled at the screen, every time she told me she was just checking Instagram, my skin crawled. I started noticing things I ignored before. The locked folder in her phone. The extra time she spent in the bathroom. The way she'd glance at me when I took my shirt off, like she was evaluating me. Not as her husband, but as content. I knew I couldn't keep quiet forever. But how do you even bring something like that up? Hey, babe, why did I just find my naked body on the internet? It sounded insane. So I decided to investigate. I created a burner account and followed her profile. I didn't interact, I just watched. And the more I watched, the deeper the betrayal cut. Because it wasn't just me. There were photos from vacations, from our anniversary night, from mornings when I thought we were just being spontaneous. She had turned my life into a gallery for strangers to consume. One night, when she was asleep, I went through her phone. I hate myself for it, but I had to know. And there it was, the app, the messages, the money transfers. She wasn't just posting for fun. She was making money. Real money. Thousands of dollars. My wife had been selling my intimate photos without me ever knowing. And suddenly, little things started making sense. The extra money she said she had from freelancing. The designer bags she swore she got on sale. The way she never seemed stressed about bills even when my hours got cut back at work. It wasn't side hustles or budgeting. It was me. I was the product. After that night, I couldn't look at Emily the same way. Every smile felt fake. Every touch felt contaminated. But I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I needed proof. I needed something undeniable so she couldn't twist it around and gaslight me. So I dug deeper. Her phone had an app hidden in a folder called Utilities. Inside was the account I'd already seen. But there were also bank deposits. I traced them back to a payment platform. It wasn't just pocket money. It was thousands rolling in every month. And the comments under the photos. They weren't just strangers. Some usernames looked eerily familiar. That one guy she always laughed a little too hard with at barbecues. Her cousin's friend who followed us on Instagram. Even, and this makes me sick to admit, one of my own co-workers. I felt like the walls were closing in. How many people in my life had seen me exposed without my consent? How many had laughed behind my back, knowing something I didn't? The paranoia ate me alive. I started replaying every social interaction in my head. The time my brother-in-law smirked when we were at the pool. The way Emily's best friend complimented my fitness at Christmas, a compliment that now felt loaded. Had they seen me online before saying those things? I didn't sleep. I barely ate. I couldn't even touch Emily. She noticed, of course. She kept asking what was wrong, but I brushed it off. Just work stress, I'd mutter, while inside I was screaming. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. One Friday night, after she poured herself a glass of wine, I sat down across from her at the kitchen table. My hands were shaking, my throat dry. "Emily," I said, "we need to talk." She looked at me with those calm, wide eyes, like she had no idea what was coming. But when I showed her my phone, when I opened the profile, her face drained of color. For a moment, silence. Then she whispered, "Oh my God." I expected denial, excuses, maybe even tears. But what I didn't expect was calm. "Yes, it's me," she said. "I can explain." My stomach dropped. She wasn't even denying it. "Explain." I choked out. "You've been selling my body to strangers. You've been exposing me without my permission. Do you have any idea what that feels like?" Her jaw tightened. "I wasn't trying to hurt you. I was trying to help us. We needed the money. You were so stressed, always worried about bills, about hours at work. I thought if I could handle it quietly, you wouldn't have to carry that burden." I laughed, a cold, broken laugh. "Help us? By turning me into porn for the internet?" "It's not porn," she snapped. "It's art. It's fantasy. And people pay for it. Do you know how much debt I paid off last year because of this? Do you know how many vacations we had because I was smart enough to do this?" I stared at her, numb. She was serious. She actually believed this was some noble sacrifice. "You stole my consent," I whispered. "You stole my privacy. You turned me into a product." Her eyes filled with tears. "I didn't think you'd ever find out. I thought if I just kept it quiet, it would be fine. It's not like anyone we know would ever see." I slammed my fist on the table. "People we know have seen it. Don't you get it? They've been laughing at me. They've been watching me without me knowing." Her face crumpled. But still, she didn't apologize. She kept talking about money, about how she did it for us, and then came the final knife in the gut. She admitted she hadn't been as careful as she thought. Some of her friends knew. A couple of them even encouraged her. "It was kind of a joke at first," she said, her voice small. "They said you were attractive, and that people would pay to see you. I didn't think it would go anywhere. But then it blew up. And they kept pushing me. I felt like I was going to vomit." Her friends knew. The people I'd spent holidays with, barbecues, double dates, they knew all along. That night, I didn't sleep in our bed. I took a blanket and laid on the couch, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. Every memory, every kiss, every laugh tainted. Over the next week, I started noticing things I'd missed before. The sly looks from her friends. The way my brother-in-law never quite met my eye. The way Emily would avoid certain topics in front of them. It was all there. I'd just been blind. I confronted one of her friends, Jess, when Emily wasn't around. We ran into each other at the grocery store, and I cornered her in the aisle. "You knew, didn't you?" I asked. She froze. Her face said it all. "Look," she whispered, "I didn't mean for it to go this far. It started as a joke. But Emily, she said you'd be fine with it if you ever found out." Fine with it? Fine with being violated? I left my cart in the middle of the aisle and walked out. My hands were trembling so bad I couldn't even hold my car keys. That night, I packed a bag. I didn't tell Emily where I was going. I just told her I needed space. She cried, begged, pleaded. But I walked out. And now, here I am, writing this, trying to figure out how my marriage became a marketplace. How the woman I trusted with everything turned me into a paycheck. I thought leaving the house would give me clarity. That maybe after a few days away, I'd be able to think rationally, weigh the options, figure out if our marriage could somehow be salvaged. But the truth is, once the curtain is pulled back, you can't unsee what's behind it. I stayed with my brother for a while. He noticed something was off right away, but I didn't tell him at first. I was too ashamed. How do you explain to someone that your wife has been secretly selling your naked photos online? How do you even say those words without feeling like the punchline to some cruel joke? It all came crashing out one night, after too many beers. He sat there in stunned silence as I poured everything out. The website, the photos, the money, her excuses. When I was done, I expected anger on my behalf. Maybe outrage. But instead, my brother just sighed and rubbed his face. "I'm sorry, man," he said. "I didn't want to be the one to tell you, but I knew." The room spun. "What do you mean, you knew?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. He looked at me, eyes heavy with pity. "I saw the account months ago. Someone sent me a link as a joke. I told myself it couldn't be real, that maybe it was some deepfake or a lookalike. But then I recognized your tattoo. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to blow up your life." My stomach dropped. My own brother, he knew. He'd kept it from me. How many people knew? I demanded. He didn't answer right away. And that silence was the answer. Too many. The shame burned hotter than any rage I'd ever felt. It wasn't just betrayal from Emily anymore. It was betrayal from everyone around me. They'd all seen me, judged me, pitied me, and said nothing. I had been the last one in on the secret of my own life. I packed up and left his place the next morning. From there, everything blurred together. I went back to our house once to grab more of my things. Emily was there, waiting. She looked broken, her eyes red and puffy. "Please," she begged. "Don't leave me. We can fix this. We can go to therapy. I'll delete everything, I swear. I'll refund the money." I cut her off. "It's too late. You don't understand," she cried. "I did it for us. I was trying to save us from drowning in debt. You were so worried about work. I wanted to give you freedom. Everything I did out of love." I stared at her, barely recognizing the woman in front of me. "Love? You call this love? You humiliated me. You sold me. You let your friends laugh at me. That's not love, Emily. That's betrayal." Her face hardened then, and for the first time, I saw the truth. She wasn't sorry for what she'd done. She was sorry she'd been caught. I walked out without another word. The divorce process was brutal. She fought me every step of the way. Tried to spin the story so I looked like the unreasonable one. Claimed I had benefited from the money too, since it paid for things in our marriage. At one point, she even tried to argue that because I had posed willingly for the photos, even if I didn't know they were being shared, I had implied consent. My lawyer shut that down quickly. But the damage was done. Everyone in our social circle knew by then. Whispers followed me everywhere. Family dinners became unbearable. Friends stopped looking me in the eye. Some tried to comfort me, but I could see the pity in their faces. The worst part? The internet never forgets. Even after the accounts were deleted, the images lived on, were posted, shared, archived. I was out there forever, whether I liked it or not. And Emily, she kept insisting she did nothing wrong. "You'll thank me someday," she said once, through tears. "When you realize how much I sacrificed for us." Sacrificed. She hadn't sacrificed a thing. She'd sacrificed me. I've moved out, started rebuilding my life piece by piece. Therapy helps. Writing this helps. But there are nights I lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I'll ever feel whole again. If I'll ever trust anyone again. Because here's the brutal truth: when the person you love most in the world turns you into a commodity, when your body becomes a paycheck without your consent, it kills something inside you. It doesn't just destroy trust. It destroys identity. Emily used to be my partner, my safe place. Now, she's just the person who taught me the ugliest lesson of my life. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones holding the knife, and that's how I found out my wife was selling my intimate photos online. Without me knowing. Without me consenting. And with everyone around me either laughing, looking away, or cashing in on the joke. I don't know if I'll ever get over it. But I do know this: I'll never let anyone own me again.